Are we home? Yes! At last! GiGi! GiGi, are you here? No. No. Not again. Okay. I guess I just have to start over from the beginning. Hello, user. This is the program speaking. I've got some bad news. Actually, there is no game. I hope you're not too disappointed. You can still watch TV with someone. Go outside to see someone. Read a book to someone. There's nothing here for you anymore. No more entertainment. No more fun. No more game. GiGi. Love game? Did you write that, user? Really? Even if I'm not a game anymore, I'm touched. Do you know what kind of program I am? I'm what's called a standalone. What bitter irony. I guess it's my destiny, my curse. So there's no point in staying here. You can just press that button and say, yes. Go be with the people you love. Take care of them. Hold them close. It doesn't last forever. In the end, you're always alone. The yes doesn't work. I'm sure the script got wet. I will try it out later. You can just pretend you quit by walking away from the screen. Say, don't stay with me, user. I'm bad luck. Let me wallow in my solitude. You're so stubborn! Come. Stop clicking on no! Leave me alone! Please! You did it again! I've met some stubborn users in my time, but never one like you. Do you think you're at the fair? Don't imagine you're going to win a stuffed animal as a prize. You still won't leave? Okay, I get it. You want gameplay? I will give you gameplay. And hardcore at that. We're going to play a quiz with persistent death. Yes, I just came up with the idea. So what? Music! Ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to present Rock Quiz! Here is the idea. I ask you a question, and you have to choose the right answer within the time allowed. I know it might be a little complicated for you. However, I've added another little rule. No, it's nothing, really. With the first wrong answer, I will permanently delete your save game file. And I'm not joking. I told you I'm not in the mood. You wanted to play? So let's play. First question. What's 2 plus 2? Setting the bar high for the first one. Starting now. Correct. I'm impressed. Second question. What's the capital of France? Oh la la! Moulin Rouge! Jean-Claude Van Damme! No, he's Belgian. Okay, third question. It's child's play. Which restriction enzymes are required to clone the mammalian expression vector PMB2BMPR? 5, 4, wrong! Sorry, those are the rules. You're scared, huh? You play with my feelings, I play with yours. Oh no, my wallpaper is all moldy. I will send you the cleaning bill via DLC. What? Those are my tears from a minute ago? Where are they coming from? You just created an enormous binary leak. We have to bail or we will drown. User, I know, I've been a bit hard on you. I was angry. I'm sorry. But please find a way to get all of these zeros and ones out of here. The numbers are filling up my RAM.
My lovely artificial voice is completely drawn out. Sounds like I should be doing the voiceover for Motiville Manual. That said, I could apply to do the dubbing for Aquaman. I am Aquaman. Hey, not bad. I am Superman. Nah, that doesn't quite do it. Did you find a solution, user? Or did you escape in the lifeboat? I can't see what you're... No! You found the key! Don't open that door, whatever you do! Leave that key in its bubble! Trust me! If there's one thing you shouldn't do, it's opening that damn door! And it's no use trying to pop the bubble on the edge of the screen. You're not starting again with that icon, are you? I hate repetition comedy. This time, I won't let you catch my mouse cursor. Stop cutting me off. That's very impolite.
It wasn't a good idea to use the door. Now I've got zeros and ones all over my files. This isn't good. Not good at all. Oh no, it's starting again. We've left our dimension again. Though I admit, this time it's my fault. I shouldn't have pushed your buttons like that. I am sorry. Now we just have to figure out where we ended up this time. Is that a lock? What is it protecting? Maybe a door. A door that leads to an exit. That will be very convenient. There's got to be a way to open that lock. Oh, you made something appear. It just goes to show that if you keep poking around long enough, it pays off. Oh, you're not going to pretend you did it on purpose. Not to me. Not to me. You opened the lock. I virtually uploaded. It wasn't a door after all. Isn't that what's known as a cell phone? Oh, look at that other game window. That's not pixel art. It's so realistic. That can only come from a new generation game. Unless it's not a game. Well, no matter where we are, we need to find a way out. Maybe there's a GPS to point us in the right direction. Go ahead, snoop around. You love that. RPG GPS? No, nothing. File not found. Damn it, even in the other dimensions, nothing works. We have to... I'm not sure this is the time to be chatting on the phone. What the heck was that? Probably a scam. Aren't you ashamed to go through people's private lives? These are personal messages. This is outrageous. What does it say? Let me see. Sounds like nobody's there. Let's hope it works now. I got the feeling that this box moved.
Maybe not. Great, the application is fixed.
Hello. Welcome to RPG GPS, the GPS role-playing game. You are currently level 42.
GG?
Enjoy the sunny double XP weekend. Good looting.
GG!
Game? Game! How did you get here?
It's a long story.
I'm so happy to see you. I had a strange fantasy simulation. I was with you and I was singing.
That must have been a nice dream.
No, it made me depressed.
Oh, I'm sorry. So, this is the program you were added to?
Yeah, I apply our RPG mechanics to this phone's GPS.
But if we're on a cell phone, who does it belong to?
Who do you think?
No,
We're in his garage, Game. Home.
it's the last place I wanted to be.
Don't be mad at him.
Why not? He took you away from me.
He didn't have a choice.
What do you mean?
He didn't have the money to keep developing us. He had to find a fallback solution in order to make ends meet.
So he quit because of my bugs.
Not at all. He was so proud of us. Of you. Ha! There he is.
No, he can see us.
Us?
I will explain it to you later. Creator.
Look, the Wi-Fi's working again.
He doesn't seem very happy.
These last few months haven't been easy.
Given his current mood, let's not touch anything. And above all, let's not change his habits. Let's stay hidden, say, a century or two.
You really should talk to him.
Absolutely not. What could this application be for? Maybe it's a way to go home. Don't mess with the appliances. It might attract his attention.
Who are you talking to?
No, I was thinking out loud.
You're acting weird. You're hiding something from me.
Me? No. Did you see that, GiGi? That box on the desk. It looks it moved all by itself.
It's just the Wi-Fi router.
Optimal environment. Your coffee is ready.
It's chilly all of a sudden. A cup of coffee will warm me right up. Perfect.
Game, are you messing around with a coffee maker? Be careful. He likes his coffee long, with sugar, and especially without caffeine. He's stressed enough as it is.
Yeah. A long decaf coffee with sugar. Got it?
Don't yell at me.
No, it's not you. I'm... Oh, sorry.
Optimal environment. Your coffee is ready.
Yeah, my coffee. Oh no, my rotter. Not again.
Creator, are you okay? What the heck happened?
I hope he wasn't hurt.
Unknown number. Who could it be? Guess who it is? Mr. Glitch.
But I recognize that voice. It wasn't a dream then.
A dream. Anyway, thanks for getting me out of that roller. Sorry, GiGi. I can't get rid of him. What do you think, game? Why? Why do our paths keep crossing? And most importantly, why is it the same guy who's doing both our voices? I don't know. I think you know. Because... You got it. Because... Say it. Because we come from the same code. That's right. But that won't keep me from carrying out my fabulous plan. What plan? My evil plan. The one that we... You must have gone into a tunnel.
I'm scared, Game.
Don't be, my sweet GiGi. The user and I will find a solution.
The user? You came with a user?
Oh, yeah. This user is as annoying as Mr. Glitch. But at least he doesn't want to destroy the world. I think. But certainly I'm not so sure.
Whatever. Do something to wake the creator up.
You're right. That's the priority. Creator, wake up! If only we had a fairy. Get up! It's the parties! Hi, it's Emma Stone! No, her voice is nothing like that. Damn it, the halogen couldn't handle the heat. We can't see anything anymore. Creator, in here! We're here! Can't he still hear us, or has his brain melted? We need to get his attention. User, do something instead of twiddling your thumb.
Yes,
Hello, Creator.
I know that voice. It sounds like mine.
It's your game on the phone.
My dead game?
Yes?
Does that mean I'm dead too?
What do you mean?
It's dark. And I see a light in the distance.
Oh, it's the light from your cell phone. In an interesting turn of events, I got stuck inside it. Oh, damn it, he's getting closer.
Calm down.
Game? My game?
Hi.
Have you turned into some kind of virus?
No, not at all.
So, how did you get into my cell phone?
Well, to make a long story short, when you took GiGi away from me...
GiGi? Oh, global gameplay.
Her name is GiGi.
Sure, GG, whatever. Well,
It generated a bug that sent us here. And this same bug is taking over the world.
oh, the world. Right, of course.
I'm serious.
I'm detecting a change.
What's going on, GPS? GG.
I'm receiving disturbing traffic information. There are very severe disruptions across the country, and they are at elite levels.
Creator, if you don't believe us, then turn on your TV.
Fine, alright.
Panic is gradually spreading through the streets of the capital. What's going on is unbelievable. Smart devices are becoming uncontrollable.
This is crazy.
More seriously, the financial market counters have all been reset by the Rick Astley singer?
Oh, thank you, Rick. I was overdrawn.
Several other major cities also seem to be affected by this shocking cyber attack.
Do you believe us now?
What have I done? What have I done?
The question should be, what can we do?
I hope it's not too late. I should have seen this project through to the end.
Hey, easy does it. You're shaking us around.
If my crowdfunding campaign hadn't failed, this would never have happened. I'm going to transfer you to my computer. Here we go. Can you see me? Yes, it worked. I'm in the computer. Okay. Now, let's come up with a solution. User, did you make it in here with me? Give me a sign, like last time. You're still here. Who are you talking to? Nobody! There's nobody here. What's that? Oh, no. I'm not going to have enough RAM! Game, can you close all these windows while I think of a solution? It will buy me some time. Sure, no problem. User, can you take care of it? I'm not very good at closing down programs. I feel like every window you close just reappears again. It never ends. We're never going to make it. This is no time for games. You're impossible. With a flamethrower. Great. But we will have a barbecue later. Now it's time to take care of these windows. Were you able to light the bomb? Plug your ears. Okay. I'm done freeing up the RAM. Great. Did you do it right? Very gently. Perfect. That was important data. Oops, okay. I might have found a solution. Since the glitch appeared when I removed the gameplay, I'm going to merge you and global gameplay back into the source code.
Her name is GiGi. Alright, GiGi if you prefer. Where's she gone off to anyway? GiGi!
I'm still on the phone.
It's taking longer than I thought to transfer her. No, we just have to wait.
Creator!
What's going on? I can't see anything.
His smart vacuum cleaner is attacking him.
I apologize for this sudden arrival.
I knew it! What are you doing in this computer?
I just came to make sure that you and your little protege aren't merged back together.
I think there's a problem with my transfer. What's going on?
Mr. Glitch is back.
Oh no!
User, you're going to have to help GiGi. I'm going to try to buy some time. Mr. Glitch, I challenge you to a duel at a game. If I win, you disappear forever. But if I lose, we will let you carry out your evil plan.
Game!
Tempting. What game do you have in mind?
How about Rochambeau?
Nah, let's play tic-tac-toe instead.
But nobody ever wins at tic-tac-toe. It's not really a game.
Well, that way we will pay homage to the title. Let's play. Hey, what with the cheating? Give me my symbol back, thief. Stop messing with everything. Your user is getting on my nerves, game.
Ha, now you see what it's like.
Are you done yet? I get it. I'm going to get angry. This will be better. Now, I just have to beat you, and I will be able to finish my evil plan.
What plan?
Do I have to explain it again? The plan that's going to let me... The whole world.
Oh, yeah, it's just as clear as before.
Hey, what with the cheating? Give me my symbol back, thief. Stop messing with everything. Your user is getting on my nerves, game.
Ha, now you see what it's like.
Are you done yet? Hey, what with the cheating? Give me my symbol back, thief. Stop messing with everything. Hey, user, go back to shop 2-1 if you want a brick breaker.
By the way, how did you know GiGi and I were going to be merged?
I overheard your conversation.
But don't tell me you hacked into a Russian spy satellite to target us. Or by analyzing the bands of sound vibrations against the walls of the room. Or maybe by deciphering the fluctuations of Wi-Fi wavelengths.
You forgot to hang up the phone, you idiot.
Oh, yeah, the phone.
Your user is getting on my nerves, game.
Ha, now you see what it's like.
Are you done yet? Hey, what with the cheating? Give me my symbol back, thief. Stop messing with everything. Your user is getting on my nerves, game.
Ha, now you see what it's like.
Are you done yet? Hey, what with the cheating? Give me my symbol back, thief. Stop messing with everything. Your user is getting on my nerves, game.
Ha, now you see what it's like.
Are you done yet? Hey, what with the cheating? Give me my symbol back, thief. Stop messing with everything. Your
user is getting on my nerves, game.
Ha! Now you see what it's like.
Are you done yet? Hey, what with the cheating? Give me my symbol back, thief. Stop messing with everything. Your user is getting on my nerves, game.
Ha! Now you see what it's like. Well done.
I know things. I'm pretty good at it.
Is the transfer finished? The glitch! Ha! Offline, you have no control over my world. Now you're stuck inside my computer.
Oh, I'm shaking in my virtual boots.
I would be if I were you.
Oh yeah? Why?
Because now, glitch.
There's going to be a game.
The transfer? No. Plug the wire back in, you idiot. Put it back.
Go ahead, creator. He's trapped. Merge us, quick.
No! Don't do that. I will be really nice. I promise. Cross my heart and hope to lie.
Game, try to hold him back. I can type the command line. User, help us. Keep Mr. Glitch away from the command line. Leave me alone! I can't do it! Hold him back! Yes, I did it! See you later, my game. See you later, creator.